Hi there, my name's Craig Taylor, Solutions Architect at HT2 Labs. As part of a year-long massive open online course, or MOOC, that I'm running, I've set the participants an end of year challenge, an end of course challenge. I've set them a challenge that will help them, I hope, start to think about how they can transfer what they've learned, looked at, discovered in the course back to their workplace. And this is the challenge on the screen. I'm also going to put up in the notes somewhere up here, I'm going to put up a link to the challenge video that I set them so that you've got the full context. Essentially, the yellow post-its that you can see on the wall behind me are the different subjects areas, tools and technologies that we've looked at over the course of 2016. And I've put them into 4 separate columns. I've asked people to select 2 from this column, 1 from this column, and they must include reference to some research that we've looked at throughout the course. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to actually do what I'm asking our participants to do and to put together my own big plan, which is the name of the task within the MOOC. The context behind this is if I was running this same course again, same subject areas, same platform which was curator, how might I be able to weave some of these tools, technologies, ideas and approaches into it? So let's look at the first one, bots. The way that I would work bots into the program is that I would set up a bot to be able to look at what people were saying, how they're responding, and reply to that. During the early stages of this course and most MOOCs, a lot of people are introducing themselves. A lot of people are saying, hi, hello, my name is Craig, I work here, and this is what I look to get out of the course. I like to give people a personal reply to that, but that takes a hell of a lot of work. It would be great if we could have a bot that appears to be me, and it's been done before. There's lots of examples of this in the US with bots being used as teaching assistants and fooling people into thinking that they were human. I'd like to see a bot being used that could replicate me and give those fairly standard responses to people. I'm not saying that it would replace me entirely, but maybe we could have a bot that would reply on my behalf if a comment wasn't responded to for 3 hours. If I was busy, if I was on leave, if I was ill, the bot could then stand in. So I would still be the primary responder most of the time, but the bot could stand in for me. The second thing that I'd look at is artificial intelligence, and I'll come on to where I would weave this artificial intelligence on in the mandatory level over here, but I also think that there would be a space for the artificial intelligence, if it was good enough, in conjunction with a bot, to actually be able to respond to people's comments that weren't straightforward, that weren't simple type of 0 or 1 responses, something a bit more complex. Perhaps we could look at tapping into AI via a bot to provide those responses. So those are the 2 tools that we've looked at in 2016 in this course that I'd like to see, and would be great if I could implement those and include those in future courses that we run. Let's look at this column here. I selected to go for podcasts. Throughout this course, we've run a number of Google Hangouts. We've probably run 5 or 6, I think, throughout the year. They are video-based interviews with subject matter experts, with other participants being able to chip in and ask questions. At the moment, they're video recordings hosted on YouTube. I'd still continue doing that. What I think would be useful, though, is if we could extract the audio from them and then place those into an MP3 format and deliver them as a podcast. Video is great, but not much use if you're trying to cut down on your bandwidth consumption, if you're driving in a vehicle, if you're commuting, you don't have a good signal. So I think we could get very close to having the same experience, but taking the audio from the video and putting it into an MP3 format. Looking at this column here, it was mandatory that I include spacing in this project. So the way that I would include spacing would be that I would engineer Curator in such a way so that it was able to see what I'd last looked at. It was able to determine what comments might have been made, not in response to me, but generally since I last looked at that level, and then automatically send me some nudges and reminders to go and look at it. Maybe it might be able to spot which level I've not paid as much attention to as other levels. Now, there could be a really good reason for that. There might not be as well. So it would be great if Curator, possibly using artificial intelligence as well, could be able to determine what have I not paid as much attention to, what's been active since I last looked at it, and maybe redirect me there in the future. At present, I'm doing this manually and I can't possibly personalise that approach for everybody in the course. So I'm taking a very large hand, small map approach, and I'm basically sending everybody to look at the same things through my nudge emails. I think it would be much better, much more personal, much more impactful if Curator, along with artificial intelligence and other things, could kind of do all that deep thinking for me and send people out personalised emails. And finally, in terms of the research, no surprises here. Lots of people that have responded to this task have said that Dr. Will Thalheimer's The Decisive Dozen, which is actually an amalgamation of other pieces of research, is a wonderful piece. It taps into being personalised learning. It taps into spacing. It taps into context, which would come in from the spacing perspective. So those are the things that I would do. I'd use bots to partially replace me, backed up by some artificial intelligence to go beyond the simple bot responses. I'd convert video to MP3 and render those out as podcasts. I'd look at using probably artificial intelligence in conjunction with Curator to be able to send people personalised nudges, personalised reminders, personalised spacing or spaced activation reminders. And finally, almost all of this, as well as a hell of a lot more, has been gleaned from the Decisive Dozen research paper that I curated from Dr. Will Thalheimer. So there's my contribution back into the course. Hope it made sense, and if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section. Thanks for watching.